Real Wedding, Hannah and Gareth at Villa Valens, Mallorca. An intimate family story from South Wales that found its happiest chapter on Mallorca, under banana palms, string lights, and turquoise accents. How it began. They first met in school corridors when everything still belonged to someday. Life moved on in its own rhythm until the day Blackberry, the beloved family cat, went missing. The search stitched phone calls to messages, worry to hope, and brought Hannah and Gareth back into each other's lives. Gareth was the one who found Blackberry. The cat returned, and so did their connection. This time not for a moment, but for good. When marriage came into the conversation, there was no need for a grand production. They chose the ring together. One August evening, they switched on twinkling Christmas lights. The boys dressed smartly. Big Ted wore a bow tie, and the living room turned into a tiny, perfect ceremony. Warm, close, and entirely theirs. Why Mallorca? Both are from South Wales, yet for years Mallorca has been the place they return to. Gareth began holidaying there 7 years earlier, the same sunsets, the same salty breeze, a rhythm that became second nature. Then came trips together with the boys and a growing collection of memories. When it was time to choose a point on the map for their vows, the decision felt effortless. They would marry on the island that already felt like a second home. Villa Valens, a garden that sets the pace. On their wedding day, the sun floated over the gardens of Villa Valens. In the heart of the space stood an old stone well beneath a weathered beam, embraced by climbing greenery and pale roses. That is where their words settled, where a summer afternoon turned into a promise. Gareth wore a cream suit with sea teal accents. Hannah's gown combined delicate lace with a soft tulle skirt, and the light seemed to choose her as its companion. The vows leaned on wood and stone, on rope that had seen other seasons. There was no need for flourish. The boys stood close, quietly proud. When it was time for the rings, hands met naturally, like the everyday gesture that says, "I'm here." Nothing else required explanation. Colours that carry the story. Villa Valens speaks in a language of its own, the green of leaves, the blush of garden roses, the warmth of sunlit stone. Hannah and Gareth listened. They chose teal for bow ties, glassware and small details, then balanced it with joyful pinks in bouquets and boutonnieres. At the tables, turquoise goblets caught the sunlight while woven chargers grounded the look. Centerpieces mixed roses and eucalyptus. Small sailboats nodded to the island and to a story that keeps moving forward. After the vows, the first laugh. When the ceremony's emotions softened, there was time for a glass of bubbles and that first unguarded laugh when every muscle lets go. Conversation flowed like warm water. Friends in airy dresses and linen shirts swapped toasts and travel tales, talked children and plans, embraced the afternoon as if it were made especially for them. Island flavours. Instead of a rigid sequence, the reception offered a generous garden buffet that simply invited people in. Crisp breads and warm coca de trampeau, tomatoes that tasted of the sun, bowls of olives and herb-scented spreads, platters of meats and vegetables. White wine in hand, smiles all around. With this kind of food, the evening lingers and no one watches the clock. Tables in the garden. Round tables draped in sand-coloured linen spread across the lawn. Wooden cross-back chairs with woven seats looked as though they had always belonged to this garden. Above, strings of lights waited patiently to take over when the sun slipped behind the hills. Between the tables, banana palms swayed in a gentle breeze. Everything felt light, coherent, and wonderfully of this place. Family at the centre. This was never a story about just two people. Their boys have been there since the first chapter, from those August fairy lights to the wedding day. The younger asked to speak during the ceremony and shared a few lines that left a soft imprint on everyone's memory. Later, when speeches began, the head table sat beneath the banana palms. Hannah leaned into a hug, Gareth read with calm, the boys looked on with pride. The scene said what words rarely can. the details that create ease. Days like this depend not only on big decisions, but on hundreds of tiny ones. Someone remembers bow ties in the very same shade. Someone chooses candles that won't surrender to a breeze. Someone folds napkins that are perfect to whirl above your head. Magdalena and the Dybiec wedding team arranged that sense of ease, attentively, without rushing, always leaving room for last-minute ideas. When the plan is held with care, you're free to lean into joy. The entrance to dinner, a wave of happiness. As guests took their seats, the energy rose like a cheer. Napkins lifted and spiraled in the air like bright pennants. A whistle here, a clap there. Someone took a partner and spun. It was the signal that the evening belonged entirely to celebration. The garden answered with a lively murmur, the glint of cutlery, the glow of string lights. A quiet kiss in the garden. At some point, the couple slipped between tables for a moment to themselves. A kiss that lasted just long enough to remember the taste of the day. Hannah's bouquet carried the scent of roses and eucalyptus. Gareth's cream jacket collected a dusting of light. Simple, unhurried scenes, the kind memory loves best. After dark, music that lifts the night. When the sky deepened to navy, the lights warmed and the live act took the stage. A neon sign shimmered by the wall. The first chord drew a collective yes. Hannah wrapped herself in a soft cream jumper embroidered with Mrs. Wells and melted into the rhythm. Gareth answered with a grin. The sound rose and the evening stretched open. Soon the celebration escaped its lines in the most delightful way. Bridesmaids in teal unspooled laughter, children darted into the centre, adults followed. A wisp of stage smoke drifted, and then all you could see were hands raised and sparks in people's eyes. A dance for every generation. There are moments when music levels the room, the youngest and the eldest, side by side. It happened again and again. One song gathered the family around the couple. Aunties in floral dresses, uncles in linen, grandmothers in lace, friends in pastels and teal. Someone called for more and the answer came in cheers and another chorus. Speeches and the soft places. Amid the laughter there was space for stillness. Gareth thanked their families and friends. Hannah looked at the boys. Their eyes held it all. Pride, joy, and the kind of curiosity that belongs to new chapters. It was clear that a wedding is never an ending but a beginning that makes room for everyone you love. A night that could have gone on. By the time it was fully dark, the garden turned cinematic. The strings of lights drew their own constellation across the sky. The music held a warm tempo, ideal for dancing. The singer and host steered the party with the ease of a good conversation. A gesture to spark clapping, a nod to pull a whole group into the refrain. At the finale, arms lifted, and for a second it felt as if the stars might drift closer. What stays? Months later, the same moments return. The old well and the vows. 2 boys in bow ties the colour of the sea. The first glass of Prosecco. The rustic buffet and conversations nobody wanted to end. Banana palms and evening speeches. Napkins swirling at the welcome to dinner. A soft jumper embroidered with a new name. A dance with friends and family that seemed to have no finish line. All of it forming a single story of closeness, joy, and a place chosen with the heart. How days like this are made. Behind the lightness stood thoughtful planning. Magdalena and the Dybiec wedding team listened closely to the couple's story and let the essential things rise to the surface. It wasn't only about beautiful flowers or table layouts. It was attention to tempo and tone, from the colour palette to the timing of speeches, from a microphone ready for vows to a cosy layer for late hours. With that kind of care, the couple could focus on what matters most, being together. Advice from Hannah and Gareth. Do it your way. Nothing replaces authenticity. Don't get lost in the small stuff. When the foundation is solid, the details find their place. Trust your team on the island. An experienced wedding planner is priceless. Give your family a voice. Those personal touches become the memories that carry you forward. With thanks. Hannah and Gareth are grateful to everyone who added a piece to their day, from florists to musicians and every pair of helpful hands. They are happy to share their story and images so that it may inspire other couples dreaming of a wedding on Mallorca. At a glance. Venue, Villa Valens, Mallorca. Planning and coordination, Dybiec Wedding. Florals and decor, Magdalena and Ursula. Music, live vocalist and evening host. Palette, teal plus garden pinks plus sand neutrals plus greenery. Signature touches, stonewell ceremony, banana palms at the head table, teal glassware, woven chargers, string lights, miniature sailboats, napkin dance, Mrs. Wells jumper. Close your eyes and you can still hear the clink of glasses, a chorus sung by everyone at once and laughter that refuses to fade. That is their Mallorca wedding, real, family-centered, glowing under the lights in a garden that will remember it for a long time.
Welcome to Mallorca. A wonderful place to say I do. Meet your professional wedding planner. Your expert guide to a flawless celebration. From the initial concept to the most minor details, we meticulously handle every aspect of your wedding. This is the most important day in your life. We are here to make it truly special. Don't just take our word for it. Hear from couples who've created their memories with us. Your perfect wedding is a sum of many single steps. Ready to start planning them all? Call us today. Let's bring your dream wedding to life.